everybody. Today I am going to be making some fall goodies. Or just goodies. Anyhow, I am going to start out with what is called a Christmas candy crunch, except I'm going to do a little twist on it, and it is going to be a fall candy crunch. So, I'm going to make that, and then I'm going to make some other items. So you need to stay tuned in the video so you can find out what other goodies I intend to make. Okay, I'm going to start out with a pan of boiling water. Okay, so far it's not boiling, but I'm going to put this pan of water on the stove. And then I am going to take my double broiler after it's heated and set it down in there. And I'm going to put some chocolates in there. After I get my water to a boil, then I'm going to set the double broiler on top, and I'm going to put in the chocolates to melt. And I am going to put in a little bit of color. Since it is fall, I'm going to put in just a little dab of orange to give my candy a nice fall color. The one thing you want to make sure you do not do is, when you are melting chocolates, never let any water get into your chocolates, because if water gets into them, then they won't stay together like they're supposed to. Instead, they start to separate, and it's just really ugly. If you ever try to make suckers, I don't know if you've ever tried to make suckers, but if you try to make suckers, they won't stick to the stick. They get really ugly and globby looking. So make sure you do not ever get any water in your chocolates. If your chocolates are too thick, you can always add a little bit of vegetable oil. Do not add water. So while that's boiling, I'm going to get the rest of my recipe together. Okay, to start out with, I am going to add the cereals. I don't know if you've ever done the Christmas Candy Crunch, but you want to add 2 cups of Cheerios. And I'm just going to add them in my big measuring cup here and just keep adding 2. So I have 2 cups of Cheerios. I'm going to put 2 cups of Rice Chex. And 2 cups of Corn Chex. We got about 2 cups of each. And we're going to put them into our big bowl. And I'm going to add, I think since it's fall, normally you do regular M&Ms, but I think since it's fall, I am going to try some caramel M&Ms. I really think they're going to be great. So only one way to find out, and that's try. And I love trying new things. So here we go. Caramel M&Ms. I'm going to do about 2 cups. So yeah, the whole thing. So there's my caramel M&Ms. And I'm going to go a step further, once again, since it is fall. And you know, I always love the Brock's candy corn, but they're always a little too rich to eat by themselves. So I'm going to try them in my fall candy crunch, and maybe it'll make them just what I want. So I'm only going to use maybe a half a bag. I don't want to overdo it since I've never tried them before. So about 8 ounces. And you gotta always have a little salt with your sweet. So we're going to put in some pretzels. And we need a couple of cups of pretzels. Oops, and I am making a mess. And there are my pretzels. Now, just mix all that up together. And let's wait for our chocolate to get melted. When it is, we'll get right back to the video. Okay, I'm going to set that aside for just a moment, and I wanted to talk to you about something else I'm going to make. Many of you like the mint Oreo cookies at Christmas time, and you can only get them at Christmas time. What a shame. So I make my own at home, and then I can have them anytime I want them. I'm going to take out a sleeve of Oreos. Probably take out a couple. All I use is Andy's mints. So I'm going to put my Andy's mints in my little crock here. You see I have a little, it's called a heavenly crock, but anyhow I have this little crock. And it's going to melt this chocolate for me while the other chocolate is in my double broiler. And I'm gonna make my own mint Oreo cookies. That way I can have them all year round. I don't have to wait just for the holidays. So I have my mint melting. I have my chocolate melting. And I'm going to go figure out what else I want to do. Okay, we're back and our chocolate is melted, and I will say that I used the Nestle's chocolate and it did not melt as well. In the past I have used the candy bark or the candy coating, and it seems like it melts a little creamier. I did have to add some oil to this because it didn't get as creamy as I wanted. So I'm gonna give it a nice orange color there. I didn't put enough in it the first time, so I'm gonna add a little more. I don't want it to look like fall. It's not gonna look like fall if it's all icky looking. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little orange twist to it there. I didn't add a lot. And then basically what you're gonna do is you're just going to pour it over top of your Candy Crunch and mix it all in. So, and like I said, it's a little thicker than what I'm used to having. So I'm not so sure how it's going to work, and I do think the candy coating bark is possibly a better choice. Just keep mixing that all up in there. You can add various things. You can add Reese cups. You could add marshmallows, or you can even add popcorn. It's just basically getting some of your favorite candies together, coating them with the white chocolate, mixing them with the salted taste from the pretzels, and then having the cereal. And of course, being you're eating it with the cereal, it makes it probably a little healthier, but then maybe not. All I know is it is good. You can melt more chocolate if you decide there's not enough, and I'm not sure if there's going to be enough of this. Like me, you have to be very careful though. You'll eat the whole entire container in a couple of settings, and that's a lot of chocolate, so try not to use any more than I really need to use. Okay, you're just going to keep stirring your candy up and get it coated really well. And then we're going to pour them onto a cookie sheet so they can set up. I hope it's good since this is something new I'm trying. But I thought, why not? If you can have a Christmas Candy Crunch, why not have a fall one? And use some of the fall candies. And we got it all coated pretty good. If you want more chocolate, like I said, you can always melt a little more and pour it over top or whatever you choose to do. And there you go. There's your Candy Crunch. Just making sure it's all coated well. That's all I'm doing. And I'm tasting it. So I decided it wasn't quite colorful enough for me, so I'm going to add a little red, a little orange, give it a little more fall color maybe. Just add a little more to it because I want more chocolate than what's on there. And my chocolate is just too thick today no matter what I do. It should almost be runny, and it's not. Okay, so as I was saying, I added another cup of chocolate because I wanted it to be a little more colorful and a little more chocolate, and it's still too thick. But I ended up using a bag and another cup. So, and you really can't do much to it now because it's set up on me too much. You know, actually you could do this with black. You could do it with any color you wanted for, say for Halloween, you want to do black. You want to do red, you want to do orange, yellow, whatever, brown. I just was trying to make it look more fall. The whole thing is basically just add your ingredients and try to get your ingredients covered well with the chocolate. That's pretty much the whole thing. Okay, now it has a little bit more fall color to it. And once again, I'm just gonna let it set up and let the chocolate harden up a little bit. So who doesn't like Andy's mint chocolate? I love it myself. So for my Oreos, it's very simple. Could not get any more simple than what it is. I have my Andy's mint chocolate melting in my crock pot, my little candy crock pot. And then I have my Oreos. You want to try your best to stay away from any broken Oreos because they don't look as good, but it's so simple. Basically, you're just going to dip your Oreos in the mint chocolate. And that way, when everybody's running around looking for the mint chocolate Oreos and can't find them, you can have them anytime you want. I basically just put them in my tongs. That's the best way to do it. Dip them down in the chocolate, pull them out, let a little bit of that come off of there because you don't want it to be all runny, because then you waste so much of your chocolate. Okay, and then you're just going to set it on your wax paper, and then you're ready for the next cookie. Very simple task. Makes for some yummy, yummy cookies. I used to get so upset every year when they would go off sale, or there were several years they didn't have them at all, and I'm being told that this year they might have them again. I am really not sure yet, but now that I make my own, it doesn't really matter anyhow. So you just basically keep dipping them. And it is best if you let some of that excess chocolate run off. Don't you waste so much of your chocolate. I think I'll set it there. That way some of that can still come off of there while I'm doing the next cookies. Keep doing this until all of your chocolate is gone. If you want the ones that are just plain chocolate covered, you can do the same thing. You just use plain chocolate. Very simple. If you want the ones that are vanilla chocolate, you can do those. And I can show you several different ones. I'm going to show you another one here in a minute that I have started doing because I think it's fun. Oops, I got two of them that time. No problem. Just dip both of those babies into the bowl. 2 for 1. Chocolate back into the bowl. Don't want to waste that yummy mint chocolate. You just want to keep doing that until you run out of chocolate or until you decide you're done making cookies. Now after I let them set a few minutes and harden up some, I'm going to go back and dip them again. So you want to make sure you don't use all of your chocolate. So I'm going to stop after this sleeve of cookies, and that way I have enough to double dip them. I think 1 bag of the Andy's mint chocolate does about 26 cookies. And then after you dip them the first time, you let them set up. You can put them in the refrigerator, or you can just let them set on the counter until they set up a little bit. And then you're going to go back and dip them again. When you're done, it should be enough for about 26 cookies. If you notice, see this cookie here? Oops, I didn't get it off the wax paper. See this cookie here? It has already lost its shine, so that means it's already set up. So I'm going to take it and dip it again. And that way, it gets a double coating of chocolate, which makes it even better. Normally I put these on wax paper. I'm not sure that freezer paper was the best idea because they tend to be sticking to the freezer paper. I've never had them do that before. So, this is why you don't use wax paper, because a lot of my chocolate got wasted. So when I double dip them, hopefully on the wax paper they would do what they've always done. As you can see, the cookies have started to set up. They have a, remove some of that excess chocolate there. I want them to look nice. Just kind of, if there's any overspill of chocolate, I kind of took that off. And now I'm going to dip them again so that they have a nice thick coating and you don't really see the Oreo through the chocolate. I'm gonna go back, dip each of them one more time, and then they're done. Now I'm just bagging up my Candy Crunch. As you see, once it has time to set up, it'll just fall apart with your hands. So it's just a matter of putting it in a bag. Makes a great snack when you're sitting around watching TV or playing games or whatever. I'm just gonna put it in a freezer bag. You know what, I've already had my hands in it, so let's just do it the quick way. Trust me, I just got through washing my hands again. I bet I wash my hands 100 times a day, especially if I'm in the kitchen. So there's one bag of it. I think I'll do it in a couple separate bags. If I don't, I'm liable to sit and eat one whole bag at a time. Not really, but let's not make it too tempting. And here's my second bag of Candy Crunch. The color was just to make it fun, you know, because it's fall. You can leave it white. I suppose you could even do it chocolate if you wanted. I don't think I would like chocolate though. This is something that the kids would have a lot of fun making. And there you go. I had snacks for a while now. Okay, so I forgot to taste the Candy Crunch for you guys. So here it is. And it is good. Pretzels are good. Little caramel bites are good. And even the candy corn is good. It's actually better this way. As you know, I'm always experimenting, so I have some white chocolate here melting. And I'm going to make some peppermint Oreos. To be honest, you could probably make peppermint, cinnamon, any kind you want. But what I'm using, just for the lack of, I didn't want to go spend a fortune on the candy at the bakeries, I decided to try candy canes. You can actually buy the bite-sized pieces at the bakery. They cost you $2. I only paid $1 for a bunch of candy canes. So that was better. Now if I can just get the wrappers off of them, we'll be good. Okay. After you get the plastic off of your candy cane, drop them into your blender. If it can blend ice, it should be able to blend candy cane. We're gonna find out. If you can get a hold of a strip first, you can get a hold of a strip like this, go all the way down, try not to let it break. Keep traveling that down. And if you can go all the way to the end, that candy cane is a lot easier to get out of the wrapper. Gotta just keep it. There, I made it. So, now you just peel it off like that. Just takes a little patience, and sometimes when it comes to mass baking, I'm not so patient. So, I think I'm gonna use about 3 candy canes. I don't think I'll use any more than that. Once again, get a hold of the end of it with your knife. Peel it, be very patient. Peel slowly down that strip. Until you make it all the way to the end. Just loop back around like that and pull it down. I'm counting on my Ninja to be able to do this. It can cut ice, it can cut nuts, even walnuts, so it should be able to do this. So let's give it a try. Ninja, let's see what you got. candy cane for my mint chocolate Oreos. Nice. And now we're going to make some mint Oreo cookies. Basically, it's the same procedure. These I will probably only dip once. It's a little messier with the mint. And again, I don't know, we'll see. Like I said, this is an experiment. Never tried this before, but I love trying new things. So I thought, why not? So, you saw me make the Candy Crunch, and it was so good, and this is the mint Oreos. And, of course, they're delicious. You can have them any time of the year that you want them. You don't have to wait till Christmas. But I will tell you, you probably will not find the Nestle's mint chocolate at all, the winter mint chocolate, at all around any time of the year except Christmas. And the peppermint ones, if you can't find peppermint, then you can always use the peppermint flavor. And you can make those any time of the year too. It's very simple. Instead of having the Candy Crunch in them, just put the flavoring in them and they will taste just the same. They just might not be as crunchy. Something about the mint, they're not hardening up. They might be a failure, I don't know. A little more chocolate on them. Let them set and see what happens. Okay, if you decide to make brickle out of your chocolate, you just take it like this, put it on a wax paper, spread it all out. Let it set until it hardens up. And then you break it. And it is very good. So, the mint is not setting up thick like I expected it to. So I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator. And because it recommends putting your chocolates in the refrigerator anyhow, the Oreos actually would have a little more shine if I had put them in the refrigerator and cooled them off quicker. So I'm gonna put these in the refrigerator and see what happens. Okay, my cookies have been in the refrigerator and I'm gonna get them put into a container. I was beginning to think that they weren't going to set up at all, but they did. They did fine. Just took them a little while, but basically, there's the mint cookies. I'm going to try one in a minute. They don't look as neat and tidy as the chocolate ones. If you want to break some of the extra chocolate off, you can. But I just know they're going to taste really good. There are the peppermint cookies. Peppermint Oreos. And here are my chocolate Oreos. My chocolate mint Oreos. And of course my fall crunch. Now with this candy, it's just called brickle. And basically all you do is you just break it into pieces. And then you just eat the little pieces. Every year at Christmas time I make brickle. I always buy the bags of the red and green mint and use the white chocolate from the bakeries, but it's not necessary. You can do it with the candy canes just the same. Just crunch your candy canes up. You can do it in your blender. You can do it with a hammer if you want. It doesn't matter. But anyhow, crunch your candy canes up or your mints or whatever you choose. And then you make your brickle. And you just break it into pieces. Makes it perfect little bite-sized pieces. There you go. Everyone likes when they come to my house and I have some of this in a candy dish for the holidays. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button. Please subscribe to my channel and turn on those notifications. Just hit that little bell. Bye.